And we move to the next project, Soteria. So please, Soteria, you have the floor.
Oh, the local support. Can you hear me well?
Yes, we hear you and see you.
Perfect. Okay, so let me start by showing you something. Now this is a lithium-ion battery, and it's commonly used in batteries, not batteries of course, but smartphones and electric vehicles. And this is the backbone to the electrical energy transition. And this is Tim. He is our local scrapyard manager, and this is our very local scrapyard right here. And this could end up in here, and when it's being transported or maybe crushed, something like this could happen. Oh no, there's a fire, okay. And Tim has been trying to solve this internally, and goes medium, you could say. But the real problem is navigating between all the different solution providers that are there, and which solution he should, he should choose. So that is where Soteria comes into the picture. With Soteria, we started as a fancy street light add-on with a cool design, but we realized quickly that we could make a bigger impact if we took the existing solutions and then adapted them to the current needs. So we will co-create with our customers to the left, and then to really understand the problem. We will take that problem, go to our solution providers to the right, to tailor a solution that fits the customer needs. It's almost in the same spirit that this whole EuroTeQ Collider event, in that we co-create to contribute to the further energy transition, it's called. Here we have another one of Tim's scrapyards, and he has asked us to help him. So what we would do is use our ACI method, which is the first step is the assessment, meaning that me and Tim would work together to get to the problem of it. And in this case, Tim's problem is about sorting the battery so it's in the right waste stream, and also he's really bad at managing fires at an early stage. So then we're going to our consultancy and implementation. That's where we also look to our solution providers, you could say. And in Tim's case, we could use something like this. This is an AI sorting device of a preventive measure that sorts the batteries before they go into the wrong waste stream. We could also use something like this, which is a thermal camera who can detect the fire at an early stage. So when we have these developed and implemented, Tim is happy and he can go for a coffee break. You can take that. Thank you. But if we couldn't help Tim, maybe his place would look like this, or something like this maybe, and the cost of this could go well up into the millions. So it's an urgent issue, but where do we really start? So, together with our challenge initiators core, we aim to start a pilot in Amsterdam in September, in the Amsterdam harbor. So Tim has reappeared again with his fire, as you can see, and in the immediate danger, we have the worker safety. But then we also have the potential fire hazard spreading, and actually to the left of Tim is the EuroTeQ, which handles all of the supply of coal in the whole Netherlands. And being next to Tim, maybe that's not the best thing to do. And then of course we have the emissions. So what we wanted to do with all of these pilots, we want to include all the stakeholders to then create a success story that can take us further into our ventures. Because Tim is not alone. Actually, 92% of the EU recycling fires are battery related. And therefore, we want to go into the EU and show our concept and get input, and maybe we can make a difference. So we are Soteria, and we fight fire before fire fights you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Team Soteria, for your presentation. So dear members of the jury, you are all safe. So please ask your questions.
I have a question, Henry. Julie here.
Yes, please.
So thank you for your presentation. And you mentioned that you want to co-create the solution. So could you please explain us how you put the stakeholders on board to find the right solutions, and how quick you can find the right solutions depending on your case, because you presented a say geographically identified case, but it can be anywhere in Europe as well. So the stakeholders are not the same. Maybe the network is similar and the transactions and the connections are similar, maybe not.
Can you hear me? All right. So that's a very good question. We aim to, of course, start a pilot in the Port of Amsterdam, which would be a very interesting case to learn from. And what we realized is that the Netherlands is in recycling quite safe already. So when we learn from such a case as Amsterdam, we gain the experience, we build upon a very nice network already. And if we then go to other stakeholders in Europe, we already have a lot of knowledge with us. Considering the time period, I would say we expect, of course, to go through this ACI method of assessment, consultancy, and implementation anywhere between a few months to 2 to 3 years to come up with like a nice reduction in fire hazards.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. So, dear jury members, other questions or remarks, please?
I have one question for your ACI method. So you now have this, let's say, pilot case in Amsterdam, you just explained. Where do you see the main challenges? Are the challenges more in the general, let's say, setup of the systems, which is probably then more difficult to carry out a consultancy, or logistic and physical setup, or is it more in the logistics of the processes in the systems where you will have the best potential for your consultancy? Could you say something? Do you have a feeling about that?
Well, thank you again for the question. I think you ask a very valid one. This is one of the assumptions that we aim to validate in the coming months, because, of course, there's always the trade-off. You want to solve processes as early on in the logistical chain as possible. So anywhere where you can already reduce batteries coming into a waste stream would be much better than making sure that the fire extinguishing equipment is nearby if things go wrong. So yeah, we need to find the balance, I would say so, but we do that by building on the expertise of the scrap yards that are in Amsterdam that have their own in-house knowledge, and we provide then the brains to connect our solution partners in a proper way. I hope that answers your question.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Are there any more questions or remarks, please? It appears not. So, Team Soteria, thank you very much for your presentation.